There are different ways that you can land a job, okay? Once you understand again about the company, your target, potential employer, and some of the positions, the next phase is actually landing the job. How are you gonna get there? Well, Fortune 500s, they have, they have to tend to have a lot of good benefits, and which they do, by the way. And they're the top of the desirability ladder because they handpick only a few of the top individuals. So once you work for one of those companies, sometimes you don't want to let go. You're in a good organization. With cybersecurity, this they cannot compromise even slightly. Given below, these are some of the ways that you can land a job in the cybersecurity realm for some of this Fortune 500. Okay, now the first one is referrals. Referrals, even though it's non-technical, this requires that you have either a friend, a neighbor, somebody that knows somebody. Again, you can use some of your social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or some other, hey, I'm looking for a IT job, a cybersecurity job in such and such company. Anybody knows a good contact, okay? And believe me, it's much, much better. You got a higher probability. There's many ways you can network and get referrals, by the way. So I mentioned some social media, but there are many organizations, depending if you're near a large city, you have meetups, you have some social events, right? Now, if you're still going to college, okay, colleges and universities have strong affiliations with those companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing. I mean, they're having career fairs every quarter, basically, if not monthly, right? So they might be on-campus recruitment drives, at least once a year, but then most likely several times a year. This is your second best chance of for you as a student to make it into the Fortune 500. Okay, and again, but it's not just colleges. Sometimes there are many boot camps out there. Have the teach cybersecurity boot camps for George Mason, which is a Virginia-based university, or occasionally. So they also have their own way to recruit. And again, they have a way to avail placement assistance, get bumped into potential job interviews opportunities, right? Another way is, again, depending on your age and experience, because usually many Fortune 500, they want to hire people with experience, or right after college, right? But you can also do an internship. That will be a third method. It comes down to internal hiring. An intern is, sometimes many companies, they see that if you're performing well and you're achieving your results, the Fortune 500 companies will prefer to switch you to a permanent position rather than search for new talent externally. So again, you can get through as an intern. Remember, some positions are not paid, but you're investing in your future, right? Your learning experience, and potentially you can get a job. Many companies offer cybersecurity internship positions, which can lead to solid positions depending on the performance. So you have to now work your behind, right? So that's important. Again, it's based on your performance. Uh, Another option is get noticed by headhunters. Okay, so you may already got out of college, you already got your first or second job, and you have to start building relationships. Again, referrals. Again, your headhunters are paid, by the way, obviously, so they're working in their own behalf, not yours. But if you have some headhunters, they don't have no clue about what you do. Let's be fair. So, but if again, because right now there's a big need in cybersecurity, headhunters are looking for appropriate candidates to fit the bill for their clients, for the Fortune 500s, right, in the field of cybersecurity. So, LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the hubs for one of those activities. If you've done your research and have the required skill sets, they will find you. Okay, make sure your profile is visible. There are a few other websites, career websites like Dice, DICE.com. Okay, LinkedIn, which is LINKED.com, also is one of the top three websites for that. Also, look at the company websites. Apply to the open positions. That's the least preferred, even though people think that will be the first one. No, it's not. You can apply to your heart content. And occasionally, because what happens is your application is not read by the hiring manager, it's hired by HR. And unless it's perfect, okay, word by word, exactly what they were looking for, maybe you have a master's degree and they were asking for just a bachelor's or the other way around, HR will reject a good applicant, okay, which could be you, right? So, but it's still, again, in some cases, like when I mentioned LinkedIn, they says, "Oh, apply now for this position." So you can do that. That's the last resort to search for and apply to open positions actively. If you have your resume handy, which checks all the boxes that an employer is looking for, there are chances that you will get an interview call easily, right? So making it to the Fortune 500 companies is tough, but the demands for cybersecurity are high, so the probabilities are very promising for you. And with the right portfolio, meaning your resume, your experience, and your talent, right? Getting into those top organizations is not that difficult of a task, especially if they're actively looking for the right candidates. Or they will let you know, even if you say that normally, if you made it all the way to the interview, they will either hire you or let you know that they're looking for future hiring. Depends on their budget cycle.